Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2. We have the final week here, and as you can see, this is going to be a big one. We have a cooperative seed with an all-dungeons goal here today. Featured on the left, the last locationers of Misery Mire Division. Linlinlin and Illus will be our two runners represented by them. And on the right, we have Team Land of the Blind, featured with BenCreighton and Worldwide Wimpy. I am Wolfling0370, and joining me on the mic is Jinxie Girl. How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Doing very well. So, folks, this is co-op info share, which means our runners will be working in tandem, spreading their routing out as far as possible, so that they can collect as much information as possible, so they can figure out the seed faster. In addition to that, of course, it's all dungeons, which means all of those bosses on your our tracker need to be lit up before Ganon is vulnerable. That includes Aga 1, and we are getting started right now. Small key to Sanctuary and a piece of heart in Link's house.
Not too exciting of a start, but I'm sure we're going to start finding some exciting items soon.
Was that 2 red crystals in the overworld and the red pendant up in Hera? I believe it was.
I think it was Crystal 1 over at Eastern, but we did have a 5-6 over at Desert.
Yeah, we definitely had a red crystal in the overworld. I didn't get a good look at Eastern's crystal, but it is a crystal. Murdercrest with full magic. Candace and Maria at the Uncle Dropdown. And that information that BenCreighton just told about the Candace and Maria, and now Linlinlin, is now relayed to Illus and Worldwide Wimpy. They're both talking to each other, making sure they both know where all these items are.
Yeah, that full magic drop from the bush crab is very nice, making Samaria already a usable weapon.
Tony reviews here at the Lost Woods Dropdown.
We have a bottle on Hylia Island.
That's not bad. Can't get to it just yet, but it's not bad.
Could be a thing.
There's a question in chat. Are they sharing items with information? They are not sharing items. Both runners will have to pick up the same pick up those items at a later point. But they will have share where they are to their teammate. Yes.
Really nice splash deletion by Linlinlin. Getting all kinds of checks here from all ends.
Now Team Last Location is here. They have already qualified for a playoff position as we find the hookshot on BenCreighton there. However, they are not secured into their position as the second seed of that playoff position. A win here will secure them, however, locking them in second place. Is with the other guaranteed position in the division, the Sexy Ganons taking the third place position.
Oh, there's a glove in Cackwell.
Nice.
Wimpy doesn't have any bombs to check the bomb wall. Unfortunately, gonna have to come back for that one.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Meanwhile, we did find a bottle of green potion in the Kakariko well, and bombos as well, and the flute! And half magic, as I'm noticing as well. There's a lot of good items in the well, or at least on the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. We are pretty close to Darkwold access. Just need that Moon Pearl, another glove, or the hammer.
And yeah, folks, tracking 4 feeds is not an easy thing, so we do have 2 trackers here tonight. We have Dark Devil and York helping us out, keeping those items up to date for all 4 of our runners just collectively.
Just $50 off the sick kid.
And the well didn't have those items, but it looks like they were found elsewhere.
Blind's Hut had Bombos, the flute, and half magic.
Ah, okay. Investigationer's Illus must not have gone there just yet. And we do have the first sword in the chicken house on Illus's end. Illus opting for a south-north route. A little bit of a zigzag pattern here, but it does happen sometimes when you find like a bottle at the top and you have to go back down. Or run out of bombs.
Looks like Linlinlin is going to head over to Mini Moldworm Cave. 15 last locationers as Ben and Wimpy are exploring Kakariko Village and Eastern Palace. We did pick up that big key, so Ben is going to be able to get this big chest without doing the dark room, and it's just the map. So we have an item in the dark room and an item on Armos. Nice.
Both of them are locked by a fire source of some kind. The lamp is hard required to get to the big key chest, whereas in Person 31, the way to Armos can just be unlocked by any means to like the torches, which means Fire Rod will work. Shovel and Mini Moldworm Cave, and the Moon Pearl, and the Flippers!
Wow.
All of those found by Linlinlin.
So none of our runners have had the rubies to check bottle vendor there in Kakariko Village, so wondering if he might have something important. Ben making it through those dark rooms. Gotta grab some life. Not gonna be able to pick that pot up without it.
Yeah, Illus does not have the Flippers, the Moon Pearl, and the shovel yet.
Just a heart piece off that shovel, so nothing too exciting. Oh, and an unfortunate death for Ben there in the big key chest.
Yeah, Illus does have the sword, though.
Library with just 10 arrows. Gonna get a look at the back of Hyrule Castle from Illus.
Nothing much there.
Just
Linlinlin now heading to get the sword that Illus has picked up. It seems we have a bit of mismatched information in regards to the tracker, so hopefully we'll fix that in a little bit. Because we certainly have items that one runner has found on one team, but the other runner has not currently. In the case for Illus, about to approach the Flippers, the Moon Pearl, and the shovel. But does have Bombos, unlike Linlinlin does, who just picked it up. As well as the flute. And both runners, of course, have a bottle because they both check the kit as well. Or at least Illus does.
Gonna get a look over here at Ice Rod Cave. Ooh, our mirror.
That's a good find. That's a really good find. So we have no access to Dark World yet, but it's still going to be a fairly straightforward seed, at least on the surface. That mirror also does give us access to Tower Hera with the flute in hand as well. And there's the mirror for Illus.
And just a heart piece off that bottle vendor.
Where were our gloves? Did you see them?
Yeah, our glove was in Kakariko Well.
Ah, okay. I missed that. Which, granted, we have 4 feet. It's easy to miss something when you're not looking at... When you're looking in one place and its half is on the other.
Illus gonna pick up his Samaria, probably head into Hyrule Castle as none of our runners have actually headed into the castle as of yet. I don't know if Wimpy checked it because he doesn't have the bottle marked either. There was also a bottle in there. So I'm
Yeah, it
not
seems
sure
we're
if
having...
he has checked it or not.
It seems we're having a little trouble with the trackers being... It looks like one tracker is... Only the top tracker is accurate to what we are seeing.
And Illus heading into Hyrule Castle, Linlinlin and Sahashila's hut, Ben cleaning up Kakariko, and Wimpy's gonna do those flipper checks.
Push that now for Linlinlin.
So far, just a full heart in Hyrule Castle. We do have 2 more items in here, though. One could be in the Dark Cross chest. Linlinlin heading up the mountain with that hook shot. Probably going to give us a look at Paradox Cave and Spectacle Rock. Probably Tower of Hera. A mail upgrade and escape.
Yeah, and both runners have found the map, and Smolky as well. Smolky was in Sanctuary. So they know there's something down here that could be an item. Then rescuing the old man and getting rewarded with the bug catching net. Not an important item, but it is helpful if you want to find some fairies.
Didn't quite see what was on Zora Ledge, but Wimpy didn't look as though he cared about it, and we got a save and quit. Looks like we do have an item in that Dark Cross chest as Illus is heading back there now. Linlinlin over on east side Death Mountain.
Yeah, Worley Wimpy.
And I think he's going to get his hook shot.
Paradox Cave here, coming up for Linlinlin. Our first look at this. Then the blinds Warlock Wimpy in the meantime, heading to go get the hook shot, it looks like.
We have the mushroom.
Does have the sword, does have the bombos and the flute. Doesn't look like Land of the Blind Warlock Wimpy has been down to Mini Moldorm just yet.
And our last item, just 20 rupees over in Hyrule Castle.
Another sword found there by a Linlinlin, as well as a second bottle.
So Illa's going to go ahead and take a look at Eastern Palace. We might get a chance to see what is in that big key chest. Just a heart piece on Floating Island. And our first look inside Spiral Cave from Linlinlin.
So once again, folks, you are joining us here for a cooperative All Dungeon Seed. The runners on the left are fighting against the runners on the right, and between the 2 runners on each team, they are allowed to share with the information as to what they find. So you're going to see a lot of divergence between both teams to try to cover as much ground as possible and to try to find everything as fast as possible.
Was that the hammer in Spec Rock?
I think it was. Where Wimpy's heading down
Wimpy is
there.
going way too fast for me, but he's jumping down. I think that was the hammer.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully get the tracker updated there because we can see that we have the flute, bombos, those glove clippers all on World Like Wimpy. And yes, that is the hammer, or that is Darkhold Access for Land of the Blind.
Very nice. Looks like our mushroom only had some rupees for us. That's going to be some nice routing for Wimpy. He's going to be able to take care of Hera and then just go straight over to Paradox and not climb the mountain again like Linlinlin is going to have to.
Well, Linlinlin started with the east side of Death Mountain. So Linlinlin will have a little bit less things to do. But yeah, sees the hammer, now knows that Darkhold Access is available for Illus, and has also relayed the information that it saves Illus time later. Also, one thing I haven't mentioned yet in regards to how a winner is determined here in Week 7, and unlike the previous races, the fastest time is not necessarily the time that wins. And instead, we go by an average time between the two runners of each team, and the fastest average time is the one that wins. So just because a runner finishes in first does not necessarily mean that they have won the race for their team.
And that was Ether in the big key chest for Illus as Wimpy gets bullied by some dead rocks but makes his way into Tower of Hera.
Meanwhile, we did find Ether. It looks like that was in Hera. Oh no, Illus found it, it seems.
Yeah, it was in Eastern.
Nice.
We do not know what is on PED as of yet.
Nope, no book to check. But we might see the ped pool all the same. There's our Dark World map. Check. Pendant Swamp, Pendant Skull Woods, 5-6 at Thieves Town.
Parapot set up for Wimpy. As Linlinlin is going to probably head into Hera. Illus going to pick up his hammer, and I'm sure going to piece out of the mountain here. Probably go do some Dark World checks while Linlinlin sees if there's anything important here in Hera.
I mean, that would be a good idea for Illus, but at the same time, I would expect Illus to also go up to Hera because this is all dungeons. Why not do the Hera while you're here? You do need to get all the pendants, all the crystals, and defeat both Aga 1 and Aga 2 in our settings today. So if you're going to be on the mountain climb, why not get all the mountains taken care of?
True. Although if there was nothing in Hera, you could always do it before you take out Ganon's tower.
That is also true. And likewise, the most ideal situation in an all dungeon seed is to save Aga 1 for last. Which doesn't seem like which seems like a weird idea to anyone who's not experienced with this. But the thing between Aga 2 and Aga 1 is Aga 2 does not give you a full restore at the end of the fight, but Aga 1 does.
So it looks like our last item in Hera is going to be on Moldorm, if not the small key. So far, only just 10 arrows. Let's see what Hype Cave has for us on Illus's side.
The boots!
Nice.
That's going to be a priority 1 find for all 4 hunters. And was that the fire rod there?
It was one of the rods. I couldn't really tell. I thought it might have been the ice rod.
I couldn't tell either. We just had a pause screen there. I believe it was, in fact, the ice rod.
Ooh, Illus heading right into Swamp. I like this play.
I mean, you got everything you need for it. Might as well. And this is the sort of the blessing here we have with cooperative seeds, is that one runner can be checking one location while another runner can be doing that, and thus, because they relay the information, they make the other runner on their team save time.
Oh, Moldorm dropping the small key. No fire source as of yet, so we won't be able to make that check for a little while.
Land the blind, finishing up this. Blue mail was found at some point.
Yeah, there's a mail upgrade and escape.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Linlinlin going right to get his boots. Don't blame him there.
Yeah, boots are just way too valuable in this sort of seed. And that'll give them a minor advantage against Land in the Blind going forward.
Oh, Lin has to buy bombs. He only has one.
That is unfortunate.
Ben, remembering that he has not picked up that hammer yet, gonna go back to the mountain so that he can get it out of Spectacle Rock. There's our boots for Linlinlin. Probably gonna pick up some money because we haven't had any Zora checks yet either.
Alright, we should see a menu here from my webpage, see if we can get that. Oh, we missed the mushroom was there, apparently.
Yeah, Mushroom was in Paradox Cave, and it didn't have anything but money on it. And get a look at Stumpy here from Linlinlin. Nothing exciting. Probably a K45 check. Nice bomb set up by Ben. Oh, accidentally falling down. Wimpy
That's
picking
master
up
sword
his...
for Wimpy. Second bottle. I believe that puts... Yeah, I think Worldwide Wimpy's items are up to date. Currently. Except for maybe the case of Samari. I think Worldwide has that. Although I don't think Worldwide Wimpy has been to Escape yet. I could be wrong. Wasting any time? Yeah, no. Worldwide has not been to the Uncle's passageway to get the Samaria.
So, nothing exciting on the game. Where will Linlinlin head now as Illus is cleaning up Swamp? Wimpy picking up his 20 bucks from that mushroom turnip as Ben heads into Tower of Hera.
Illus doing left side swamp. Red mail found. That'll be armor. Blue mail for Linlinlin. And that's pretty fast to find. And I don't know if Linlinlin will opt to go get that. I think this is gonna be a green mail seed for Linlinlin.
Yeah, no, he's not going to pick that up.
I mean, I can argue that if Linlinlin knows Diver down, doesn't have to worry about changing the switchback. I can just jump right over there. But I don't think Diver down helps there. But regardless, there is a mail available in Escape if Linlinlin wants to go get it, and that could be a quick mirror out.
Very nice diver down by Illus, rewarded with the blue boomerang.
Nice for menuing, if nothing else. Meanwhile, we were seeing Thieves Town for the first time on Linlinlin. Bo immediately found.
Bomb hat with just a piece of heart. So far, 3 items in Thieves Town. C-shape house with just some more rupees.
Argus meanwhile he fought. This is a very difficult fight though for Illus. Having only the fighter sword has to do spin strats or hammer switch. Nice! Nice hellway dash there for Linlinlin. That is harder than it looks. Compass on Argus. And the green bennett has been acquired by Illus.
Ben about to do his first hype check for Team Land of the Blind. Going to be rewarded with those boots. As well as the ice rod.
And currently, that gives, I would say, last occasions maybe about a 5-minute advantage with the boots that they've taken advantage of. It's by no means over yet. There could still be one item that eludes last occasioners that Land of the Blind finds. Which would make it a fitting team name now that I think about it. Boots and ice rod now for BenCreighton.
Ooh, fire rod in that big chest.
Of swamp?
Yep.
Nice! That's definitely going to be picked up because that is our fire source.
And of course a small key in Blind's chest because 3 items in the front pretty much means that you are going to have a truly 4th item to get. Going to look at the pyramid from Illus. Then heading right into Swamp Palace as long as he checks that big chest after getting that big key will be rewarded with that fire rod as well.
Yeah, big key was in the waterfall chest though. So it's a little bit further back.
Just 5 rupees on the pyramid. Looks like Illus is going to head to Catfish.
But then in the blind fight, scripted if you can hit the boss as soon as possible every single time. Oh, drops it though. Nice recovery. But now the fireball's in a different pattern than Linlinlin is used to. Gets it done though. Well fought.
Just $5.
But
That is rewarded with a 5/6 crystal.
that is correct.
I'm gonna get those flipper checks from Illus. Hopefully Zora check to see what he has, as none of our runners has checked that yet. We do know the ledge is pretty useless. Wimpy took a look and said no thank you. Overledge, just a piece of heart today.
Zora, not worth it.
Useless. Let's see what our bumper ledge has.
I believe you mean bonk rocks, but yes.
Yep, sorry.
Heart container.
Yeah, I was figuring on seeing Illus take the dip into Skullwoods, as he has already picked up that fire rod, and Linlinlin is going to go ahead and do the overworld checks like Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. Very nice routing and communication from all four of our runners.
Yes, and I believe their third teammates are eagerly watching the results of this race to see where the results lay. Like I said earlier, Last Location is secured for a playoff position here. They're fighting to secure the second seed of that playoff, whereas Land the Blind is not going to unfortunately make it to the playoffs, but is looking to at least disrupt the scoring a little bit for Last Locationers.
Very nice diver down from Ben. Getting our first look at Graveyard Ledge, as Illus is going to grab his bow here in Thieves Town. While most of our big ticket items have been found in the bigger checks like Blindsight, Cackwell, Mini Moldorm, Sahashla's Hut, and Hype Cave, as well as Paradox Cave. Linlinlin looks to be heading to get his fire rod.
Makes sense to me. Both the runners of armor finding all three pieces of getting up to the red mail.
We'll see if the other members of their respective team goes to get the blue mail at the very least from our castle.
We have a question in chat on how the playoffs will work here, and I don't have that information on hand, but I can look it up. Just to give you guys an idea.
I'm going to see a lot of the same checks here from our runners. Very similar routing on both ends. Really following the logic of the items that they're finding. Probably going to see a dip into pod here shortly.
Alright, so playoffs get a little bit complicated here, it seems. But how it will work is that for the first two games, it will be represented by Alright, 2 players, and the settings will be guaranteed. And then afterwards, game 3 onward will be a choice, it seems, between some predetermined settings. If you want to see, and it will go courage, wisdom, and power for the first 3 games. And if you want to see which player represented by which team, just go ahead and look at the website, which we are keeping all this information on. And on the team list, you'll see which team is represented by which pendant. Or which team member is represented by which each pendant. So I can go ahead and give an example here. So for Linlinlin and Illus, Linlinlin is the player represented by the Pendant of Courage on their team, whereas Illus is represented by the Pendant of Wisdom, according to the website, according to the team listings. So these 2 members will take part in the first 2 games of the playoffs, respectively. Where their 3rd teammate, Goomba, will be taking part in Game 3.
Well, there's our Titans mints in Skull Woods.
Nice.
Linlinlin going back to pick up their fire rod, and I'm sure beelining it to Skull Woods. As Wimpy is going to give us our first look at Pod. Linlinlin grabbing his fire rod as Illus goes to take on Macula. Ben also in Skull Woods. And Wimpy opening Pod.
Alright. So... wait a moment. Well, that's interesting. I believe Medallions Pending Team Last locations may potentially be in Go mode.
Very good point.
If they may need Quake to enter Mizumire or Turtle Rock, but they have the very minimum necessary to fight Ganon, as well as all the other bosses. Obviously, a 3rd sword or the Silver Arrows would be ideal for the Ganon fight to give them a faster average time, but we don't know where those are yet, and they may not be needed.
Illus may be heading to Hookshot Cave and checking what we need for Turtle Rock.
Illus is definitely heading to Mini Moldorm Cave to pick up the sword. That much is obvious.
Oh yeah, I forgot he hadn't picked up that sword yet.
And then maybe we'll be heading up to Turtle Rock as well to check the medallion. Because at this point, both runners are looking to find the information about the seed. And Land of the Blind also does not currently know. Oh no, they do know. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Lynn head straight over to the Mire area while Illus is up here on the mountain. just to see if they are in fact in go mode. With that ether being over in Eastern Palace, they're definitely going to want to have that knowledge before they commit time to extra checks.
Yeah, Illus is definitely going to check Turtle Rock first. And at this point, they can clear most of the dungeons as is, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to clear them first and see if the third medallion's there if they need it. Or another sword.
Yeah, that ether being over in the big key chest is kind of out of the way, so having that knowledge of whether or not you have to waste the time to go get it is pretty important.
Bombos
And
for
it's
Turtle
bombos,
Rock. We get information on ether being potentially required, or bombos as well for Misery Meyer, and that is go mode for Team Last Locationers. If it's not Quake, of course. Was the book found by BenCreighton?
No, I don't believe.
Oh, third pendant! We're getting a blind pet pool! 5 rupees. Unfortunate.
Because why not when it's all dungeons?
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt. Linlinlin probably about to do the same thing. Yep. I mean, making sure before or they leave the area makes sense to me.
Yeah, the runners have had very, very similar routing in this seed. So far, no items in Turtle Rock.
Alright, this is going to be a flute to 6, I think? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it would have to be at this point. And our second item in Skullwood's just a full heart.
Alright, eyes on Linlinlin here. It is Quake to enter Misery Meyer. We are not in go mode yet, folks. Slow it down a bit.
Well, either not required.
Tempered, though, at Meyer Shed.
Very nice find. Oh, I missed what Armos Knights dropped. I was too busy watching the stinking...
I didn't see it either. It looks like it was
just
the
100
100 crack.
Alright, thank you.
There's Quake Medallion! Let's go mode for last location
Wow.
at 42 minutes and 20 seconds.
And even though Illus does not have that Quake Medallion yet, because this is info share co-op, Linlinlin has relayed to Illus where that Quake Medallion is and that it's required.
That is really unfortunate for Land of the Blind because Wimpy is going to spend a lot of time clearing out Pod, hopefully rewarded with something like another sword or silver arrows, but honestly, it's going to be quite a time loss.
Yeah. Now, granted, Illus and Linlinlin still have to do that dungeon, and they still have to do a bunch of other dungeons as well. But at this point, they're both collectively in go mode, and they can just start clearing dungeons. There's the lamp in the big chest. I suppose someone can pick that up if they want to. And there's the cape as well. So that would be a good safety for Linlinlin to pick up on the way to Turtle Rock in case Linlinlin needs it.
Yeah, definitely.
Linlinlin having a little bit of trouble landing these fire rod shots on the Lambolas, but gets done.
And we have seen both items in desert now, so just 10 arrows being our second item. Illus going to have to check Laser Bridge here to get that key to get to Trinex.
Does have a cape if needed. And trade out the green potion here as we find magic powder on Laser Bridge for blue. Now I can still see them doing other dungeons here. Yeah, you can see that Linlinlin, instead of heading to Turtle Rock, is heading into Palace of Darkness, and I presume that Illus will head into Ice Palace next instead of Misery Mire. And this is mainly to get an idea of where the keys may be, but then again we do have Icebreaker. But yeah, just having someone do the dungeons to figure out where the key layouts are will save the other runners some time as well.
The bow is in the first chest of Thieves Town. Yeah, this is nice routing on Linlinlin's side because he's going to know right where that big key is, so Illus isn't going to have to waste time here in Pod.
Meanwhile, Land of the Blind is also in a collective go mode, but they're missing a few pieces here and there between each runner. And they currently do not have the information on the medallion that Last Locationers does. Neither runner has, I believe, seen Turtle Rock or Misery Mire's medallion on Land of the Blind. So they don't know they're in go mode yet. Although they can pretty much perceive it because they have all three medallions between them.
Yeah, they can go ahead and count themselves in go mode since collectively they know where everything is.
Except for the lamp, but that's a moot point. That's in Turtle Rock. And Illus is going to be diving into Misery Mire and getting the Quake Medallion as well.
I mean, I definitely think knowing where that lamp is definitely makes Misery Mire a lot faster. I mean, it's easy to figure out the dark rooms, but it is time consuming, especially if you miss that first room and get a little backed up. So I definitely think Illus doing Mire and then Lynn probably, I don't see him going up to Turtle Rock to get that lamp first.
No, I think Linlinlin will be doing Turtle Rock last before GT.
Yeah, I just don't know why he wouldn't go ahead and do Mire while he was there.
It's probably the dark rooms. Either that or just simply forgot. But then again, the way they're setting this up is that they're doing key routing for the other runner, I believe. So Linlinlin is routing out the keys in Pod, while Illus can route out the keys in Mire for Linlinlin. Just telling him where they are. There's the big key and pod, relayed now to Illus by Linlinlin.
Another reason I can see is spooky action, as chat brings that up. Spooky action, for some reason, doesn't seem to work if you have defeated the land molas on that visit to desert. So they'd have to reflute to do it. But I don't think it's possible. I'm not sure. I haven't experienced enough with spooky action to actually understand it completely.
Oh, Ben down to 1 heart here in Meyer.
Ooh, tricky thing. Oh, no potions.
Oh no. Oh, unfortunate death after getting through those dark rooms.
Well, he was in the second room, which had the spikes, so
Yeah.
I think they were dead regardless, unfortunate as it was. Really need an invincibility item at that point. Gonna nope out.
Oh, gonna check checkerboard cave.
Does find a heart container at least. Linlinlin fighting Helmslur King now. Meanwhile, Illus is running through Misery Mire.
Oh, would be going to pick up his fire rod from Swamp.
Yeah, this is the kind of the one minor issue that Land of the Blind had. They've been really spread out with their search and now have a lot of items, but they haven't been prioritizing having their partners pick up the item. So they're going to have a little bit more time to collectively get everything they need, even though they know where it all is. Whereas Linlinlin and Illus have streamlined and prioritized their item progression, and are thus both collectively, just find the keys and go sort of situation.
Ben gonna go ahead up to Turtle Rock.
And this will find the land for BenCreighton, which would help Land of the Blind.
Oh, it looks like Wimpy's gonna go ahead for that mail upgrade.
Yeah, Wimpy can dive her down here to get the small
There's our
key.
book in Hookshot Cave.
Books in Hookshot Cave? Alright. They're still checking items.
Ben might be looking for that lamp.
Didn't check the last chest. Wonder why.
He fell off.
Seemed he was there though. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Vitreous down now for Illus. Still got a handful of bosses left for each runner, and neither runner has been... None of our forerunners have been into Ice Palace yet. And I believe at this point our runners now know that they are in go mode. Although I don't think... No, BenCreighton were the only one that haven't been to Misery Mire yet. They don't know... Oh no, Ben has been to Misery Mire, never mind. So they now know that they have everything they need available to them. Alright. Arva's nice now for Linlinlin. Missed the first shot. Good recovery, maybe? Very good recovery. Nice. Missed the quick kill, still got it. Just in time. Well done by Linlinlin. Would be having trouble with Diver down. And he has drowned the key, so he has to do this. No doubt his teammate is coaching him to get this diver down trick taken care of. Meanwhile, we're seeing both Last Occasioners members in Ice Palace doing Icebreaker. Wimpy giving up on Diver Down. Gonna go ahead and reset the dungeon. Or just ignore the armor mail completely. Gets the Topo's knocked over. It resets the full dungeon. Now, I think that was not necessary. I want to say that in Randomizer now, you just have to leave the mirror out of the dungeon and it will work. They recently changed, they changed that, I think, in version 30 or 29. I forget. But now it's set up so that you only have to leave the screen completely to empty out the front part of Swan Palace. The center will always be flooded, and where Wimpy has flooded the key, you just need a mirror, I think. And leave the dungeon, yeah. Crystal for Illus and Linlinlin soon to be as well. This is looking to be a good race, all things considering. Shaping it pretty well. Close scare fight now for Linlinlin. Gets hit by a crystal. Oh. Nice corner trap. 1, 2, 3. Down goes Cold Stare. Well fought fight. The dungeon did require some Aria. Just out of the way it was intended.
Yeah, very nice execution on both sides. Ben about to find his lamp, as well as his cape.
Yep, and both runners now know that, so they should be in a go mode situation now if they weren't before. Linlinlin now into Misery Mire without the lamp. Now it's now working through House of Darkness.
Both of the runners at this point know the key logic here in the remaining dungeons. And here's what's nice about the synchronization from Last Locations here as well. Both of them, Illus still has to do pot Eastern, which is still done. He's not up. But after these sets of dungeons that they're in, both of the runners have one mountain dungeon left. Linlinlin having Turtle Rock, whereas Illus has Hera. So it's a mountain dungeon to GT to Aga 1 to Ganon fight scenario we have here. For both of our runners on Last Locations, which is fairly clean routing, I'd say, overall. In a cooperative siege. And in all dungeons, no less.
Yeah, they definitely have had really good communication here throughout the race and setting up that safety door before taking on Trinix.
That is smart. Trinix can be kind of daunting sometimes, especially when you're at 5 hearts. With Red Mail, I think you can take maybe 1 or 2 hits at most. 3 if you're lucky.
Still no silver arrows. Probably in Ganon's tower at this point.
Probably. And whoever's in Ganon's tower first, which at this point it looks like it'll be Linlinlin for Last Locationers. We'll have the information to go ahead here. And find that for our runners.
Beautiful Vitreous fight as Ben is taking on the 3rd phase of Trinix.
Keys it down, nice and clean. And yeah, 1 dungeon left now for Linlinlin. And before Ganon's Tower's open. Still needs to fight Aga 1, but that can be done later. Meanwhile, Illus is heading to the final boss here in House of Darkness, the Helmasaur King. Then it's a quick mirror to fight, go to Eastern, and then it's just a quick climb up to Hera. But before he goes into Hera, Illus will most likely make a detour to go into the Turtle Rock portal, and then mirror in front of GT to enter Hera then. Alright. You're not gonna have much time here. There's the bow now for BenCreighton. There's the fire run now for Worldwide Wimpy. They are now collectively... Well, they're not quite in go mode yet collectively. They still need to... Wimpy still needs to get the Quake Medallion from Desert.
Yeah, their ending times will definitely be fairly synced up. Depending on where the big key is in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and of course, in the case of our cooperative settings here, how we determine who wins the race, like I said before, is determined by the average time between both runners on each side of the team. Now, here's the thing. If Linlinlin and Illus finish first, there's before Land of the Blind can even finish. Their average time on Last Occasions will always be better than whatever average time BenCreighton and Worldwide Wimpy can put up. So it'll be a clear and concise win. It gets a little iffy though if we have a situation in which we have one person finish, then the other team finishes, and then the second person for the first team finishes. Because then the averages do matter, because it can be kind of difficult to determine that. But in this case, it's fairly synced up. We should have a clear and concise winner between the two teams.
Yeah, this mode definitely makes communication vital, but also execution.
Correct.
Because you're going to be going a lot less... you're less likely to go out of your way to pick up a full heart, to pick up a mail upgrade, to pick up the cape, you know, things like that. So you have to be really well-versed in low percent in order to keep up with your opponent.
Looks like it will be Illus of Last Location entering Ganon's Tower first. But before he enters Ganon's Tower, he's gonna finish up Hera. Because it makes sense. Both of them have one dungeon left, plus Aga 1, plus GT, whereas their opponents
Ooh, that's
have
for Linlinlin.
5 and 6 dungeons respectively, plus Aga 1. Now we got a good question here regarding the big key guessing game. We will be going by the first runner into GT. That's how it's always been. Which in this case is looking like it'll be Illus. Now Illus could just throw a curveball and decide to enter GT right away, in which case we have no time to prepare the game. But I think Illus is going to be doing Hera first. Yeah, Illus is going to be doing Hera first, so we'll have a little bit of time to set it up. Hold your guesses for a moment here. Because we're not done yet. We are going to have to get the game... You might want to get them ready, though. Because once the game starts properly, you maybe have about, we'll say, 15 seconds to get your guesses in. So get them primed and ready and wait for that command, because once we see the crystal catch, that's when the game starts. And it's going to end as soon as we see Illus goes downstairs into the basement, I think. That'll give you a little bit more time. So, there is the small key. There's the pending catch. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a game we like to play. Hey, let's get it started here quickly. Quick. We have 22 items in chest in Ganon's Tower. Only one of which could be the big key. Please give us a number 10 where you think the big key will be. It seems we did not get started right away, but get your guesses in quick because Biggie isn't even normally close at this point. And if it... Let's see where it is. First chest is compass. Second chest is a small key.
Not gonna do right side this first trip.
And no one was on the game, so I guess we're playing this one for fun. To be fair, it was a fairly quick window. I was hoping someone was on it. It was, yeah, there was like no time to prepare that one. There's the big key, though. That was test number 5. Let's scroll up here. We did have a 5. Kira Desu was the person to get 5. There was another person to get 5. Steel Geo 1. So yeah, very nicely done. And sorry if you couldn't get the game up in time. I honestly was not expecting it, and I also, to be full disclosure, I forgot what the command was. Because I don't normally start the game.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a very quick seed thus far.
Indeed, and having a quick finish like Hera, that did not help much. I'm used to calling to announcing the game. It's not so much as starting it. And yes, Hera was indeed a pendant here. However, it was all dungeons, so that Hera pendant is required to be picked up. And Illus made the smart play to pick it up first, because after you defeat Ganon's tower, you go to the pyramid. And here we go. Linlinlin is now gonna go ahead and just beeline to the big key. Does know where it is. Alright, things are gonna be wrapping up fairly shortly here. They're still at the top of the tower. We still know where those arrows are. And with this... And this looks to be last locationer's win here going forward. And with this win, they have secured themselves the second seed of the playoff division. Of their division playoffs. Which I think, if I go ahead and take another look here, oh, wrong thing. Now, we don't have that many people that have gotten in playoff positions yet. But in terms of the Dark World Conference's Mizumar division, which this is taking place in, this will be locking in last locationers as the second seeded team of their division going forward. And that is Ganon's tower done. It is not time to fight the pig, though, folks. This is all dungeons, as a reminder. all the pendants have been collected, all the crystals have been collected, but Aga 1 still needs to fall. You are getting your Aga 1 fight right here this week, folks.
Yeah, considering this isn't all dungeons, this time is incredible.
Yeah. Now, granted, all dungeons is normally one of the longer goals to have, but because we had info share, our runners basically divided and conquered the sea, going in their separate ways and sharing that information so that the other runner can finish faster. And it shows here with these times. And I suppose we can play a second guessing game here now, folks, as we get going here. We, for fairness sake, in terms of the randomizer, the Aga fights are seeded. As you'll soon see here on Aga 2 for Linlinlin, he'll have the same blue balls and the same teleport patterns as Illus's fight. The same goes for Aga 1, and how that fight works is that it'll be a guaranteed reflectable orange shot, and then a 50-50 shot for the next 3 shots to be a non-reflectable blue shot and a reflectable orange shot. And then lightning will strike randomly across the field from Aghanim, and then the cycle repeats itself. How many blue shots do you think we're gonna get? You have a little bit of time to get this one for once. There's still about maybe 5 more rooms left of the Aga 1 climb for Illus.
Ben gonna head back to Misery Mire to clean up that dungeon. Gonna have a little bit easier of a time here with that red mail and lamp.
And we're seeing a 15. We still on 18. That is full considering you need 6 hits and there's only can ever be 15 blue shots. So you're implying that someone missed. War Olympi is down but has a fairy to revive himself. Aga 2 is down now for Linlinlin. Likewise, cannot fight the pig just yet. Aga 1 still needs to fall. And we're about to see the Aga 1 fight here on Illus's end. Let's see how many blue balls we have today. First one is always going to be a guaranteed orange. Second shot is an orange shot. Third, not reflective, is reflectable. Wow, 0 blue balls in the first cycle. Here's the lightning attack, signifying the end of the cycle. And now the pattern repeats. First shot always is reflectable. Ah, there's a blue shot. One singular blue shot. And now, with the Aga 1 down, a full restore for Illus, and now it is, the goal has been met. Time to fight the pig. Here's Ganon.
Very nice spooky action from Ben.
Very nice indeed. Master Sword in hand, it'll be 12 slashes for the first 2 phases. Spin attacks will deal double damage during these phases, allowing it to be done in 6 strikes. After which, it will begin the phase 3, in which Ganon will teleport around, and then will stomp the ground. You'll know when phase 3 begins when the trident disappears. After 4 hits in this phase, regardless of sword strength, although Fighter Sword doesn't make his immune, but details. Those will enter phase 4, the darkness technique. Keep the torches lit, and normally we would stun Ganon with the sword while the lights are on, and let loose 4 silver arrows. We don't have silver arrows, but Ganon will tell us where they are. Instead, we'll have to do spin attacks as Ganondorf teleports away. Why did I say Ganondorf? Jeez. And it'll be 12 spin attacks to win the fight. Slashes do work in the fight, but because the window is extremely tight on in terms of the vulnerability hitbox, a 2-frame window, so specifically,
spin attacks have a longer hitbox duration and can hit more consistently. Ice Palace was the home of the Silver Arrows today. Neither runner picked it up.
One of the only dungeons that wasn't full cleared.
Nope. And I actually had a feeling it was an Ice Palace, to be honest. But anyway, if you can see Ganon raise his hands up slightly at the end before he teleports away, good eye, that's his 2-frame window. And you can slash during that time and get damage on him. But like I said, spins are far more consistent. They last a lot longer than a normal slash does.
I only ever accidentally get that hit. Never
Yeah.
on purpose.
It could look hitting those windows with the sword, but there we go. Ganon is down for Illus. Get your G's in chat for Illus, who has not won it for his team yet. Last occasioners, Linlinlin must cross the finish line as well. But that is the first place finish across the whole race, with Illus finishing at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 1 second.
Well, there were just so many checks that we didn't have to make. Either runner in this seed. We didn't get a magic bat check, Super Bunny, Spike Cave, Purple Chest, Smith, Pyramid Fairy. I mean, there was a significant amount of places that we did not check. So very, very good routing on both sides for all 4 runners.
Alright. It's now Illus Linlinlin's turn to fight the seed. And of course, we could wait for Linlinlin or Illus to join us, but we're gonna wait for Linlinlin to wrap up here as well. Alright, getting the spin attacks now. Both runners have finished on Land of the Blind, or at least have gotten, or at least, there. I'm tripping over my own words. BenCreighton has collected all of the crystals and all the pendants. Can now enter Ganon's tower and start wrapping up the seed. Land of the Blind. Worldwide Wimpy, meanwhile, is on his way through Palace of Darkness. Still has to do Blizzard Wire and still has to do Ice Palace as well. And there we go. Linlinlin has finished. Could you use it in chat now for Linlinlin? And Linlinlin has crossed with an official SRL time of second place with 1 hour, 23 minutes, 10 seconds here. And for the average, that was an average time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, it's 35 seconds. And which it puts their time to beat for BenCreighton World and Wimpy unavailable to be bested, so that it makes Last Locationer the definitive winner of this race.
But definitely get your GGs in chat for Land of the Blind, who also did a fantastic job. it's really difficult to kind of do this mode because it's not one you really practice often, and then to be on speed gaming at the same time, you know, it takes a lot. So definitely be sure to show some love, throw some follows, give some GGs, and really appreciate the runners who are putting on these performances for you, because it is definitely not an easy thing to do. Then heading into Ganon's Tower, Wimpy gonna go ahead and clean up Ice Palace and Misery Mire. Yeah, I think it's really neat to see how many people are involved in the league this season. A couple of my buddies were in it season 1, and it definitely didn't get the notoriety that it has now. So it's really neat to see it, you know, going across all the platforms, SpeedGaming, you know, A Link to the Past Randomizer, and the league channels. It's really, really fun and exciting, especially to see the new modes that, you know, we've never seen before, like the co-pilot mode, which seems extremely difficult, from all different variations of the game to open, standard, co-op, co-pilot, cross keys, key sanity, inverted. It's just really, really fun. It really shows off all of the work that has gone into the Link to the Past Randomizer community, all the different modes that are available, and definitely bringing a lot of people into the community, and you know, getting to play with your buddies. So that's what's important. So GG's to everyone who's played, all the volunteers, the administrators, everyone that has brought this, you know, to such a big platform. And I believe we do have interviews, so I will be quiet. No, that sound was my co-com leaving for a second. I'm sure he'll be right back. But yeah, so make sure you join the league next year, or sign up to commentate or track. We always enjoy having more volunteers, just so we can get more of these races on air for you guys. Ben is on his way up Ganon's Tower as Wimpy is finishing up Ice Palace. It looks like Wolflink has lost his internet connection, but will be back shortly. Doesn't look like either of our runners from Land of the Blind is going to pick up those silver arrows that we now know is in Ice Palace. I cannot invite. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Painful thing to return. So, been taking that safety door, which is always nice to have. Very nice cold star fight from Wimpy, who will be heading over to Misery Mire before climbing the tower himself to take on Aga 2, Aga 1, and then Ganon. Yeah, the league is definitely not over. We do have playoffs as well as the final, so there will be lots of exciting games to come. With Robes wanting to be a little trolly for Wimpy today, but clears that room very nicely, heading into Misery Mire to pick up his last crystal before heading up the tower. And the big key, just a bitty fight for Wimpy left. Moldorm 2 down for Ben. Does check the validation chest or the Moldorm 2 chest for a few bombs. And we have our Aga 2 fight from Ben, and soon to be a victorious fight from Wimpy. Very nice keep strats from Wimpy, pulling out that bow to finish off Viddy. Ben about to mirror and take down Aga 1. And just one last death mountain climb for Worldwide Wimpy as he's going to go grab his big key, take down Aga 2, Aga 1, endgame. And we're joined in chat by my co-com Wolflink, who is patiently waiting for his router to reset. And welcome back, Wolflink. 036.
I'm expecting it to hiccup again, but yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know why I did that.
Well, routers only reset at the most opportune moment, so it's understandable.
Yes. I'm not sure how much of me was cut off at the end there, but I did announce the average. That was heard.
Yeah, I believe it was, what, 121, and then it cut off the seconds.
Okay, it was 121.35 for the official average time for Team Last Locationers. So yeah, guaranteed win for them for today. Alright. So while we have things happening here on these, as we see Land of the Blind wrap up, let's go ahead and give you guys a few more matches to watch, shall we? So coming up on SpeedGaming 5, we will have Team Feline Paralysis versus Team Hime versus the 4115 and Ravis versus JJ Blue and Dragon Strike. That's going to be on SpeedGaming 5. We have over on the Elite Best Randomizer League, we will have two matches for you, one at 640, one at 840. We will have Team Sphere Affinity versus Team Spaceballs, the random team, GFE 12 and Killer F versus P-Train and TJ Maelstrom. And we'll have on 840 Team Tile Rooms versus Team What Are You Doing in My Swamp Palace, Jay Meisher and Dawn Venture versus Artie Walsh and Scrub Casual. And then we have one last match here on SpeedGaming in 1, or SpeedGaming Original, Team Kappa versus Team We're Bad at Team Names, where we have Gamachu and Cynek represented by We're Bad at Team Names, and we'll have Adirondack Rick and Fear Agent represented by Team Kappa. Fear Agent, of course, being pretty much the spearheader of the Olympic Best Randomizer League. So that's going to be a really epic match to watch. And those are two of the highest teams in the league being part of, as I checked it real quick. They are actually the two teams that are actually locked up of the Light World Conference is Lost Wiz Division. So that's going to be a really epic match. That is going to be at least a determining factor in setting up the things there. I just now noticed what BenCreighton did as I look back now. The Smith is here in the Ganon fight. Oh, at this point, both the members of Land of Blind know they have lost the race. So I guess BenCreighton is giving us a show here. And what a show it is. If that's not good sportsmanship, then, well, it's fooling around. But at the same time, it's actually pretty entertaining all the same. Alright. BenCreighton getting the torch glitch. Warlord Wimpy on his way up to fight Aga 2. Oh, this is gonna be an issue. Something on my end, don't worry about it. But that's GG, as we see BenCreighton has defeated the pig. And this is where I've announced the finish time on IRC, but because of my internet hiccup, I actually don't have the finish time on IRC for BenCreighton. We'll have to ask Linlinlin and Illus about it, who are joining us right now. GG's to you, last locationers. I lost internet, and now I don't have BenCreighton's finish time. Can you please pull it up for me?
It's 1:41:19. Ben
Thank you.
posted it, so.
Thank you, I missed that. 141:19. Thank you, BenCreighton. But yeah, GG's to you. This was actually a great scene to watch, as we are now also joined by BenCreighton from Land of the Blind as well.
GG's, everybody.
GG. Nice prog.
So, the rounding was fairly equal between both of you, but I think the clears overall were definitely in Last Location's favor here. You guys really synced up your routing throughout this game, and it showed.
I mean, when Illus found the fire rod, like I already wanted to go to pod. I was like, I kind of want a fire rod as well. But before I go into Port and Eastern, Illus tells me the mates are in swamp. I mean, Irish Skullwoods. I'm like, okay, I want that as well.
Yeah, I just happened to stumble upon all the stuff and turned out to be a very quick seat.
Yeah.
And
even
Illus
then- Sorry, go ahead.
Illus wanted the sword from Death Mountain, so like, hey, can you check the medallion for me? So I have to get ether from Eastern, and now we go to the Randomizer. Oh, we need Quake. Oh, there's Quake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to fool your Turtle Rock, and he's like, oh, Quake is the desert.
Yeah, and it turns out we did find the book as well. That was in, Ben found that over in, Hookshot Cave.
I mean, I would have gone if Quake was nowhere to be found soon, but yeah, we just didn't need to do that. Like, we could skip a lot in the seed. As you can see in the collection rate, it was one of the quickest co-op seeds I've ever played.
Yeah. And I think part of that was because the way you guys ran the dungeons is that someone was in a dungeon blind, whereas the other there's a person who was in a different dungeon blind, and thus when you guys done the reverse, you guys knew where the keys were because you relayed that so that you could have the other one do it faster, which was, I don't know if that was accidental or on purpose, but that was certainly very well done, very well played on that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's on purpose. Like, sometimes it just doesn't add up too well because of the item distribution. But in general, we try to get as much information as we can, as quickly as we can. And so we just split up and collect the information so that the other person will have it easier. in the next dungeon, because overlaps lead to time loss. So I think we have quite good teamwork, like overall in our team as well.
Yeah. It also, the one thing that was probably a trouble spot here, at least for you, Linlinlin, was the mail location, because Illus found both of them, and I'm pretty sure you were not going to get the one in the swamp.
No, like, the thing is, we're usually both not ankle routes, so I don't know how to route ankle. And when I stayed in quit out of ankle after getting the cane and full magic, I was like, I could have done escape. I would have gotten that one. And Illus probably the one on that side song, because you probably wouldn't have gone for the one in escape. But in the end, Illus had to go to escape to get to grab the cane, so he just did it. And he was there and got the blue main. Like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna have main in this year.
Yeah, thankfully the cape was on the way, which made up for that a little bit, and the half magic was fairly early.
Yeah, and we had a bottle which we could use as much as we wanted.
Yeah, but that urge to...
Yeah, the early game of the seat was just nuts with Kakariko being so loaded. And even also Mini Molder Cave as well. You guys had pretty much most, if not all, of your mobility right from the get-go, with the boots even being right at the start of Dark World in Big Cave.
Yeah, that contributed to the seed being as big as it was, absolutely.
And yeah, just good execution there. Although I will say that, Illus, you did give us not enough time to prepare the guessing game for chat.
Let's go with Hera for you.
Exactly.
Go with Hera pot. I tend to not nail it first try, but this time I did. Just nice.
Yeah, GG's to both of you as well. So we'll be getting a war room here in a moment. He is currently still fighting Angle 1. And yeah, the Summoners being in Ice Palace were unfortunately not a great spot, because you were broke from Gomon at the time.
Yeah, but as long as you have that sword, it's not that big of a deal.
This
Like,
that skipped a lot as well in the overworld. So.
better skip everything than go ahead and save 40 seconds on Ganon or whatever. It doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah. I mean, it could matter in the co-op because of the average, but in this case, you guys were well ahead of the pack. Averages did not necessarily need to factor into this one at all.
Yeah, I mean, about that, we were quite aware that our execution is better, likely, and we just told ourselves to be careful and like not get any mistakes get to us. So yeah, it was we weren't all that nervous. Like for example, in week 6 we fought Arrow 16. And we were really nervous about that race because it was basically for first place, or possibly for first place, and this one was a bit more chill. And fun fact, my only 2 wins in the league were this week.
Fine, you didn't have like the easy wins.
Yeah, like my opponents were quite rough, but I could have also won, right? So
But yeah, like winning those 2 games actually secured us the 2nd place of the division. So
That is correct.
So we're like we wanted those wins as well because we want Kumba, who is our player for game 3, where the highest seed gets to pick the mode. So just to give him a bit of like space to work with, or like a bit of freedom to work with. Against Yagamoth, so we already know that the 3rd spot is the 60 Ganas.
Yeah. At this point, the 60 Ganons have pretty much confirmed that they are the 3rd seed in the Mystery Mario division here. And of course, if you're wondering why they mean by player 1, 2, and 3, if you go to this scheduling this team page, you can see that they each have a pendant, and that represents play orders, and that matters for the playoffs coming up. As player 1, the pendant of courage will be going to play game 1, pendant of wisdom will be playing game 2, and pendant of power will be playing game 3. And like I said, these two here that we're talking to are the pendant of courage and the pendant of wisdom, respectively, for their team. So they are going to be taking part in the first 2 games of their playoffs.
Hoping we're on schedule with the playoffs, since like the Harrow Castle division is a bit of a mess right now, I would say.
5-way tie incoming.
At this point in time, Hyrule Castle Division currently has no one secured for a playoff position. They are fairly, that is a highly contested zone.
So yeah, like
Okay. Sorry, I was about to make a comment that we're also bringing the frog to the fight.
So yeah, we waited for the interview because like since it's we're still in the league, but unfortunately Land of the Blind that was their last game of the regular season. So like I wanted to thank you for participating as a player and also as a mod. It's been a lot of fun. Like League's been a lot of fun. Season 1 I was there. Season 2 I was also there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the league is definitely a lot of fun. Even though I didn't play for 4 weeks. I got benched.
I didn't want to play this.
Yeah.
Well, I've been having a great time. We're able to. Land of the Blind is able to go out with 2 wins, which is 2 more than I expected and 1 more than I hoped. So hey, awesome.
Nice. And as BenCreighton chimes in here, World Wimpy has been undefeated again here, and I do have the average time for the curious as well.
It was a rough division, and like you still managed to get a few wins, so that's really nice.
Yeah, and you managed to have a lot of fun, as we could all see. It's great. I love your attitude, guys.
So World Wimpy has crossed the finish line in 4th place with a time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, 17 seconds. And that gives Land of the Blind an average finish time for this race of 1 hour, 46 minutes, 48 seconds. Roughly 25-minute difference, but still, well played by them. And we are now joined by Worldwide Wimpy as well. Well, GG's to both of you guys here at Land of the Blind. You guys put up an excellent showing here. You're definitely the underdogs coming into this match. But you gave us a good show at the end, and I will appreciate that all the same.
Lampin, Turtle Rock, Big Chest is not any good.
Yeah, we were over here like, so we're basically in go mode. All dungeons. I don't want to do AGA 1 blind. Okay, we're looking for that lamp.
Yeah, that like I remember last season, my teammate that was Houston Baba, he didn't know how to do that also without the lamp, and I actually taught him where to shoot the fire rod shots in order to lit the rooms, especially the dark maze.
It's surprisingly easy.
I've done Dark Aga a couple of times, but it was like, I still have Pod to do, and Meyer and Turtle Rock require it, and it's probably going to be on the way anyway, so we'll just go get it.
Yeah, at least it wasn't like in a bad spot like Space or anything, it was just on the way.
Yeah, like Mir in GT, kind of bad.
And yeah, for the most part, you were keeping up with the last Locationers, at least at the start of the race. I think it sort of tapered down when you guys got access to Dark World. Last Locationers went to Dark World almost immediately and found the boots almost immediately. Whereas you guys took a little bit more time to search the overworld and then thus not have the boots.
Yeah, and Pod trying to do Pod Darkroom with the Terrapins. I said, I'm here, I'll give it a try. If I make it through, that's going to cut time for me. If I don't, oh well, we're going to be searching for Lamp anyway. And then my D-pad not wanting to work on that first diver down. So as soon as I finished my seed, I went and reconfigured my D-pad so that way I know it works.
Yeah, and there was also BenCreighton. I believe you also, unfortunately, took a death in Misery Mire attempting the Dark Rooms there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I also wasted a little bit of time early on in Eastern. I didn't have quite enough hearts to to handle the damage boost to get Vanilla Big Key Chest, and not quite enough offensive power to kill everything the vanilla way, and that was a feels bad. So definitely some execution errors here and there.
Yeah, but you still had fun all the same, and like we've been saying, this is unfortunately your last match here in the of the league. Did you at least enjoy the league for what it was?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I was really happy with the expansion to 64 teams, because it felt like we got to throw our hat in the ring, take part, enjoy our 7 weeks of Swiss without feeling like we were taking a slot away from somebody who would who's put more time and blood, sweat, and tears into it, because that would have felt bad.
Indeed.
And I'm just happy everyone on our team got a semblance of points. So Ben was on a snide there for a while in tournament and league races where he didn't get a win. I'm real happy for him that he was able to get one on Sunday.
Yep, and shout out to Yodanashi, who I see in the chat. That's our third teammate who came into this as a real rookie, has only been playing for a month or two. But we're a tight-knit community over at Land of the Blind, and I said, like, yeah, we could jump into the looking for team channel and find some rando that we've never met before, but if we're gonna do this, I want to do this as the Land of the Blind team. So I'm glad Yodanashi was able to jump in and do that with us.
Yeah, Ben wasn't expecting any wins. I was expecting us to sweep all of our games, so that's a little bit of dry sarcasm there. No, I did not expect that. So, but we performed well. We really didn't get slaughtered in any seeds, so that's nice.
Yeah, definitely put up a fight in this one as well. No,
but yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to Last Locationers. You better believe that we're going to be following you in the playoffs from here on out.
Thank you. I hope you had a lot of fun, and and I'm expecting you to see next season as well.
100%.
I'm definitely going to be part of it. I mean, we are definitely going to be part of it.
Now, speaking of follows, of course, Earth's chat, make sure to follow our 4 runners here. They put on an excellent race for us today to wrap up their regular season here of the league. Last occasion, of course, advancing to the playoffs. Plus, Land of the Blind is going to be going home, unfortunately. Also, make sure to follow SpeedGaming 226. You don't miss any racing action, not just the Link to Pass Randomizer League. And of course, we're also hosting a few of these races on the ALTTPR. Tongue-tied there. The ALTTPR League and the Link to the Pass Randomizer League 2 through 4 as well. So, it's kind of a tongue twister, but it's the ALTTPR League for the Twitch site. And of course, make sure to also follow my co-comp Jinxie and of course our 2 trackers tonight, Yoinker's Wife and Dark Diplomat, keeping those items up to date for us here. And this was a lot to do, but we definitely needed 2 trackers here, so thank you both for helping us out. And of course, Ivan Wolfling0370. You can go ahead and give me a follow as well, but that's it for us here. So from all of us here at the Link to Best Randomizer League, we just see you all next time. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a good night, everyone.
Good night.